Okay, we're going to ask Teresa about her story, her experience with something when she went camping. Where were you?
Oh, we were in Beckler.
Beckler.
Yeah.
Did you go there a lot?
Up by, yes.
You went there a lot?
All the time.
Okay.
Like almost every weekend during the summer.
Right. Okay. And what year was this?
Oh. Probably 95, 96, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that. 97.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because Jamie was, yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
Yeah, 97, I think, 94. Between 94 and 96, I believe. And we had the K5 Blazer, and we always had a group of friends that came, like, you know, 4 or 5 other.
Camping party.
Yeah, and we found the coolest spots all the time.
Right.
And Beckler is, you can go in and there's campgrounds, and then you can keep climbing, and there's not very many that you can find up there for that many people, so you kind of have to stay down below on the mountain. But it used to go to Jack's Pass. You could go all the way to Sultan from there.
Gotcha.
The back way. Anyways, summertime, nice, beautiful weather, like always.
Okay.
Everybody was doing their thing, getting set up, and we didn't have a tent, so we slept in the Blazer. And I had put newspaper.
When you say we, who?
Me, Doug, and Jamie. So
And Jamie is who?
my daughter.
How old was she?
9, probably 8, 9, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, about that. And the Blazer was on, 36s tall,
Right.
canopy on it.
Gotcha.
So it's a hard top. And there's big long windows, so, I took newspaper and covered the windows in the back for privacy.
Right.
And light purposes. Behind the Blazer is a little trail that we made. We had a big log, and we actually had a toilet seat for us.
Right.
Girls.
Right.
And so, anyways, that's, it was back there for quite a ways.
Down the trail.
Down the trail.
Away from where you were
us,
parked.
yeah.
Right.
So, but anyways, yeah, we usually stayed 3 nights, if, or longer, whatever we could do.
So did this happen on the first night you were there, or the second night, or?
No, first off, the whole vibration of Beckler is like, you just feel like you're far away from
Gotcha.
everything, and you're really not.
No.
But I mean, you are.
Yeah. For people that are not from the Pacific Northwest.
Correct. It's
you're
very
not
dense.
very far away from anything,
No,
but it is very dense.
It's very dense.
Yes.
And there's deer and
Everything.
all kinds of critters everywhere. And our friend Lori and her boyfriend, and she had a dog. They were in a tent just off to the right, and from us. And the first night, her dog was whining and whining and whining. So that next morning, when everybody got up and we were doing our coffee and stuff, she was telling us about her dog, and it was just like not happy. And the dog was fine at that point. So we all just kind of was like, okay, whatever. And the guys were like, well, we'll just, keep our eyes open and stuff, because bear and whatever, people, you don't know. And everybody packed, so it
Sure.
didn't matter. We weren't,
Scared or anything.
No.
Right.
No. We weren't worried about any
Just
of that
aware.
shit. Just absolutely, and the river's right there.
Right.
So you got to realize the river makes a lot of noise, okay? And so hearing things doesn't always be, whatever. I don't know. So we've, anyways, we all are partying, and kids are in bed now. Jamie's snuggled down in the canopy, and we're partying, roasting our chicken hearts.
Yummy.
With Johnny's.
You betcha.
And we'd stayed up until, I don't know, 1:30 or 2, I think, and everybody finally crashed, and then we went to bed. And it was, I don't know, I mean, I was tired. I know I was tired.
You weren't looking at the clock.
No. So, Doug was passed out.
Sure.
Within seconds, snoring, whatever. Jamie's out.
Of course.
And I'm laying there, kind of just, doing my whole thing and thinking about what to do tomorrow, and because we only have one day.
Down. Right.
Yeah. And I rolled on my side, and I thought, I looked at the floor, and there's a hole in the floor of the canopy. It was a perfect round hole. And I'm looking at the hole going, wow, that's a trip. You can see the ground and shit.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I found the mouse. He took the roll of toilet paper, and there was probably that much left. Shredded it, and he was this far from Jamie's head.
Oh, my.
Out. Sound asleep.
Sleeping with the family.
The cutest thing you ever saw.
Right.
No, that's me. But anyways, I was laughing and, kind of going, no way. And I was trying to wake up Doug, and he wasn't going to wake up.
Right.
So I had obviously nodded off, apparently.
You just left the mouse where he was.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't care. He's not hurting anybody. I don't give a shit. I was like, right on, dude.
That's right.
So yeah, I nodded off, and the next thing I know, I had this. I don't know what woke me up. I just remember waking up, and it seemed really quiet. That's what got my attention, and I couldn't understand why it was so quiet, and I'm like trying to figure out. I can hear the water, right? And I'm saying that to myself. I can hear the water, right? And I'm like, yeah, you can hear the water. Can I hear the water?
Gotcha.
It's that quiet. That's when it hit me, and I thought, what the fuck? This isn't right. And my arm was right here, so I reached over. Doug was to my left. Okay, well, to my right. I'm laying on my back.
Okay.
He's to my right, and I'm shaking him. When you shake him, you're gonna shake the truck.
Of course.
But not that hard, because this is a K5 Blazer.
Right.
It's very heavy.
Yes.
It's big. Jacked up.
Yes.
I just wanted somebody to hear what I was hearing. I can't describe the feeling that it was like it shut off, and you
No
could hear
sound.
zero. And my breathing felt loud.
Gotcha.
And I remember thinking, what the fuck, why is it like this?
Right.
And you question, is it like this before? Have I heard this before? Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. Yes, I have. Flash. Instant. I'm kind of getting a little concerned, and I'm a little nervous at this point, so I rolled over on my side so that I am facing Doug. And I am saying, Doug, just like that, please wake up. Nothing. Not her, not Jamie, and not Doug. Neither one of them are waking up. So at this point, I had rolled onto my stomach. When you roll on the stomach, the two back seats, the back of the front seats is right there. So you're looking at the dash.
Right.
I can look between the two seats and see out the front of the K5
you didn't
Blazer.
cover that with paper.
No, that was the
wide
front
open.
window.
I understand.
And it didn't, to me, it didn't make any
No, 'cause-
difference.
right.
Because the way the sun came in, I was more concerned about this part
Right.
than it coming from this way.
Right.
Because there was woods all over
Sure.
in front of us and it kept it dark. So we didn't have that. Plus everybody's right there.
Sure.
I didn't want anything from behind me peeking through the windows is how I thought.
Right. You know your friends aren't creepers. They're not going to.
Right.
Right.
So at this point, and I'm moving slow and I'm being very quiet and I can feel like I can't breathe. I'm feeling like I can't take a breath.
So do you feel like it was starting to hit you? What
Yeah.
was going on?
Yeah.
Or that?
It's something was happening. But then all of the sudden it felt like I heard 4, like, you know how the ground sounds hollow with pine needles?
Oh yeah.
You can hear,
Yes.
but it's not like,
I
that
understand.
sound. And I
Right.
hear 4.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I thought that one of the guys had got up
Sure.
and was doing something.
Why would you think anything else?
It's pitch black.
Right.
You can see the embers of the fire.
Okay.
That's it. You
Right.
can't, there's no flame.
And nobody's got a flashlight.
No.
You're not seeing any light outside.
There's no light.
Right.
We're all sleeping.
Humans can't see in the dark.
Not really well.
I just wanted to bring that to your
Right.
attention.
It's like, what the fuck? And so I think my eyes are adjusting and now I can see the hood and the curve
Right.
of my hood.
Right.
Okay? That is the nose of the K5 Blazer.
Sure.
I have 36-inch tires
For
on
bird
the
time.
Blazer
It's big.
with a body lift.
It's big.
Okay?
Very tall.
So I'm looking and I'm searching with my eyes,
For
trying
anything.
to figure out if somebody is out there. And then I get this hot sensation of don't look. And I put my head down. My head is up, but I lower my eyes.
Gotcha.
The whole front of the K5 Blazer dropped.
No way.
It was exactly like somebody walked over and went like this and leaned on
Well, a
something.
person couldn't do that.
So, but now hold on. This was the exact motion I saw
In your
in
head.
my mind
Right.
that it went like this and it pushed down to see
To look
me.
Ooh.
That's when shit got real.
Creepy.
And I put my head down and I said, that's fucked up. And I said it out loud. It pissed me off.
Well, you have your child there too.
Yes, I do.
So,
Instant,
Mama Bear.
I'm pissed. And I'm not happy about this. The reality is not hitting me. That is not a person
No.
that's fucking with us
No.
at all.
No.
So when that pissed off went away for a second, reality hit.
Yeah.
And that is when I put my, the covers over my head and I said, I'm done. This is not fucking okay. And the Blazer went back up. And at that point, I fucking yelled.
Yeah.
That's when I yelled for Doug. And I said, wake the fuck up right now. And he fucking sat up and he's like, whoa.
Kind of.
What the fuck? And I'm just not okay.
Right.
And Jamie is kind of groggy, but she's awake. And then I realized, what am I doing? Shut the fuck up, Teresa. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Lay down. It's okay, Jamie. The mouse didn't move.
What?
Nope. So he's talking to me, and at this point he's on his side, and he's like, what's going on? Are you okay? And I said, it pushed the whole front of the truck down. And that's all that came out. And I was just not, I was trying to deal with whatever, how I could.
Right.
And I had to go back to sleep. That didn't happen very well.
No,
Meanwhile, I think I probably slept a little bit when it got dawn, false dawn. It was just barely, you know,
comfortable enough to where you can see outside now.
I passed out.
Right.
So when I got up, everybody was up. Jamie had came in and was yelling at me, "Mom, there was a mouse and it was right by my head and Doug grabbed it and put it outside." And he was freaking out. And of course, I was out through the whole thing.
Right.
And so, and then of course it was funny and we were laughing and shit. And then the whole time, Doug's looking at me and he's sitting over on the seat, because we had the seat that you could remove from the back of the Blazer, and that's what we use for our couch outside.
At the fireplace, right, at the fire.
Yeah. And so he, you know, I came over and I sat down and I had my coffee and stuff, and I'm sitting there and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I said, "I'm telling you that's what happened. And I'm not lying." At this point, Chuck hears it.
Of course.
Dave hears it. They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And Doug's like, "Dude, we have to try something and I want you guys to help me." That's 3 guys total. That's all there is.
Right.
Okay? So Doug, Chuck, and Dave all went to the front of the truck and they tried to push
The hood?
the K5.
The whole thing down.
They couldn't.
Of course not.
They could make it move a little bit, and then there was no fucking way
that they could hold it in a down position.
What it did
right.
at any time. Then, here's the weird part. It was moist out, because we're in the woods.
You betcha.
Right? And the whole top of the Blazer was dry, and there was a line about that, probably about that long, halfway across the middle of the hood of what? It was oil. It was like oil, wet. I don't have a clue what it was. We were tripping out on it. And at this point, you know, I tell them what happened, and Vicky's looking at me going, "What the fuck, Teresa? Why didn't you yell?" And I said, "I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't take a breath. I felt like somebody, like I had my ears tight, like somebody plugged my ears, so I couldn't hear anything outside. It was strange. I couldn't hear the water. I had to tell myself that the river was there.
Yeah.
To make a focal point. That's the whole part was
right.
I couldn't get where I heard it walk from. It's like it came from the river, that direction, this way, straight line. So the next thing you know, we're looking. We don't see dick.
No,
there's nothing. There's no sign.
There's no way to leave
nothing
track out there. There isn't.
So at this point, you know, we have one more night, and I'm not like freaked out. I mean, I am, but I'm not. At that point, I was just like, it is what it is. If anything was gonna happen, well, it would have happened.
Right.
Okay? For me, that's how I look at things.
Sure.
For one, believe it or not, I felt better that it wasn't a human.
Well, of course, that would be...
That
I'm
right
sorry,
there
that's
is
weird.
what bothered me.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, bothered Doug. First thing he said.
That it would be a person.
I'm glad it's not a person.
Well, that would be a whole different
And
set
Dave
of rules.
looked at him and he goes, "Dude, why the fuck would you say that?" And Doug looked at him and he goes, "You just saw what we did."
Yeah.
And Dave looked at me and he goes, "Are you fucking with me, Teresa?" And I said, "Why would I say that? That's stupid, dude."
Right.
And so, and Lori, of course, Lori is a earth child.
Yeah.
She was a hippie.
Yeah.
She didn't shave.
Yeah.
Okay? We're talking earth child.
Yes.
She believed 100%
Right.
across the board.
Right.
So for her, she put it together and she said, no wonder. Her dog
Oh, yeah.
okay? And her dog was a little gray Weimaraner,
Okay.
and her name was Sassy, and she fucking was the sweetest thing ever in the whole world. That dog didn't leave her.
Right.
Okay, that's the other thing that Lori brought up that
Then
night,
that's
but that
out of
happened.
character.
She said, I don't understand, she doesn't want to go anywhere. And we just blew it off
Right.
when we went pee. Here's another one. All of us girls took the kids down the trail in front of the truck to pee. And we got quite a ways down, and I'm not even kidding you. Jamie said, we need to stop right here. I don't want to go any farther.
Whoa.
Okay, do you have to pee? She's like, I don't want to go any farther. We peed. That was it. Never questioned it. I just know that she felt something, and I respected that, and it's okay.
Right. But you
Didn't make a big deal.
Right.
I'm not going to make a big deal out of that. Not for her.